We made it.
Steve and Toby, welcome to Canada.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
So you've been here in Edmonton for like 48 hours now. What do you think? What are your first impressions of Canada?
Cold.
Yeah, loving the cold.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, you wanted cold, we've got it here. So we
And it
arranged
was
that.
nice of you guys to do that. Yeah, really smooth.
So one of the other things I've learned about Edmonton is what a theater town it is. So when I first moved here, people kept greeting me with this statistic. There's like more theater per capita in Edmonton than New York because there's so many companies developing work. And one of the reasons is because of the Edmonton Fringe Festival, which is like biggest in North America and one of the biggest in the world. And I know Fringe festivals are near and dear to your heart, and where Six got its start.
Yeah.
So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about where you started and how the Fringe was involved.
Yeah, sure. So we were students in our final year of university, and our university's musical theatre society wanted to take an original musical to the Edinburgh Fringe. The plan was just to take a show for the summer to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We didn't know what it was going to be about. We definitely didn't plan for it to be anything beyond the Edinburgh Fringe in 2017 with our friends performing in it. And we were just like, okay, we've never written a musical before, we've just got to make sure it's not completely terrible and it doesn't embarrass our friends, so we're going to have to perform in it. It was like the bar that we set for ourselves with it. So yeah.
Was it during the Fringe that you kind of got a sense that this was going to grow and be something much bigger than you had originally thought, which was just the goal of not embarrassing your friends being in it?
Well, I'd never done a show at the Fringe before, and then like loads of producers were coming to see it, and all of a sudden like people that had sort of licensing houses and they were coming out to having meetings with me, and I was like, oh, I guess like this is kind of what happens. But then people were like, this is not what happens. You're lucky if like someone from London like walks out of your show and then like tweets you being like, yeah, it was alright. But then we kind of came back and did the home run of Six. Other producers came along, and then it was basically until the week afterwards when one of the producers that had come to see it that week, Kenny Wax, brought us into his office and said, I've got a theatre in London on the West End. It's got a few free Mondays over Christmas. Would you want to do some showcases? And then we were like,
That was when we were like,
that was,
wait, this is the biggest thing that could ever happen to us.
yeah, because I remember being at the Fringe and being like, I can't believe a show that I've written is like being performed at like the Edinburgh Fringe. It's like a huge festival, and like it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, I've like maxed out, and then it was like, oh god, imagine like doing like one of the songs at like a scratch night in London, and doing anything out beyond the Fringe with the show was like kind of been talking about it, like imagine. It's like,
So it's funny, since then, like, it's always kind of felt like the
Leveling
same.
up.
Yeah, but it's always felt like the same feeling of like, what? This is the craziest thing to have happened.